My name is John Worrell, and I'm an attorney with the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. At that time, I'd have to take equal time to rebut some of the comments that were made in the last session, but I'm not going to go about HEMAP and Euro and so forth. Our panel today, you can't blame them for the name. And if you didn't bring your ferret, it's okay. But that name was, I came up with that. Ferreting out evildoers, let's say, President Bush would like to say, in the home mortgage modification business. PHFA, because we're the only agency in state government that has the word housing in our name, we tend to get asked about housing issues all the time. We get letters from prisoners about housing. When they get out of jail, they're looking for housing, and we help them get housing. We get letters from people complaining about their housing. Anything to do with housing, and the governor's office sends us things that, anything with housing, we get. Okay? But we do have a kind of unique bird's eye view sometimes in terms of what is happening with housing around Pennsylvania. Because for several reasons. Number one, we run the HEMAP program we have for many, many years, about 2 decades running the HEMAP program. We are a holder of about 50,000 first mortgages that we help people, first-time homebuyers predominantly, become homeowners. So we own and service those mortgages. So we have that kind of viewpoint in terms of being a loan servicer ourselves. We are run by a board, and on our board is David's boss, the Secretary of Banking. So our board meets monthly, and we're frequently brought into and asked to deal with issues regarding housing and problems with mortgage foreclosure. For example, a few years ago, we were called upon to go up into the Pocono area when there was a large mortgage foreclosure problem with some of the vacation homes that were being sold to people in New York State who were sort of lured into Pennsylvania looking for Bambi and found not the American dream, but a nightmare in a lot of cases. So we went up there and helped the folks there. Recently, we've gotten into the mortgage modification world for several reasons. Number one, we do mortgage modifications a lot in our single-family programs. We have for a number of years. Really, it started with the surge in refinancings, and we were seeing that we were losing mortgages to subprime lenders because they were convincing people that they should, borrow money, pay off our mortgage, and also put a swimming pool in and take a cruise someplace. So we were modifying our mortgages to reduce those interest rates down to in a sense, compete with the teaser rates that were being offered by the subprime lenders. More recently, as foreclosures increased, we did a lot of mortgage modifications of our own loans because we wanted to keep people in their homes and not push them out of their homes. We've done about, last count of around 500 or so mortgage modifications of our loans, of PHFA-owned loans. And usually successful. I mean, we've reduced interest rates down to as low as 2 or 3%. And I think we've demonstrated that A, it can be done, and B, it makes sense to do it. We don't have all the trosh problems that were mentioned previously, the tranches about where we don't have those issues to deal with. We own our mortgages, we can make our own decisions. With the HEMAP program, we have our counseling network that's out there. We have the NeighborWorks counseling network and legal service counseling now that we pay for. So we're seeing now the people who probably used to make subprime mortgages, the mortgage brokers who used to do subprime mortgages, and as that has dried up, they have to do something to make a living. So now they're doing mortgage modifications. Maybe someday they'll be back to selling used cars again. I don't know. But over the last 6 months to a year, we've had the good fortune, really, of working with the Department of Banking, the Attorney General's Office, Department of State, in trying to have a dialogue about, where are the bad actors, and then how can we help from a technical standpoint in helping the enforcers, A, identify who they are, and then B, doing something about them. Okay. I'm going to show you 3 things. But we're not the only ones doing this. The Federal Trade Commission has also recently gotten actively involved in the same world. I'm going to show you 3 commercials, basically. The first one is one that we did with the Secretary of Banking. Brian Hudson did a little 30-second public service commercial. The second one is with none other than Sam Elkis, You know, his movie debuts today. And the third one's a longer, a somewhat longer one that was put together by the Federal Trade Commission. But all dealing with the issue of mortgage modifications and looking after the unscrupulous mortgage modification companies. And don't, you know, the homeowners, don't be fooled. Don't send your money off to someone who isn't going to do anything with it. It isn't going to really help you. Okay. PHFA pays for free counseling to help people work out mortgage modification. So why should they be sending $2,000 or $3,000 off to California or Florida or whatever? It makes no sense. So with that said, we'll show those videos, and then we're going to have John Abel, who's Senior Deputy Attorney General in Harrisburg, in the Consumer Protection area. And then we'll have David Blanken, who is in the enforcement side, who's an attorney, doesn't always want to admit it, but he's an attorney. And of course, in the enforcement side of the Department of Banking. Okay, so, roll.
Hi, I'm Steve Kaplan.
And I'm Brian Hudson.
If you're a Pennsylvanian struggling to pay your mortgage
Or falling behind on your payments, we want you to know that free help is available.
call the Pennsylvania Mortgage Helpline at 866-984-5108.
We'll connect you to a certified housing counselor that will help you avoid foreclosure and keep your home.
That number again is 866-984-5108. The call is free, and so's the help.
Loan modifications and foreclosure mortgages are becoming more prominent in today's economy. Don't fall victim to them.
The Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency has partnered with local housing counselors and attorneys with the Pennsylvania Legal Aid Network to provide assistance to homeowners at risk of foreclosure.
Call 1-800-822-1174 for an approved housing counselor near you.
The financial problem started when I was injured at work. There was no money coming in. I had to figure something out quick.
We received our letter of default around Christmas time.
There's nothing worse than having the fear that you're about to lose your home. The desperation that goes along with that is very intense for just anyone. We did go out to see if we could find some foreclosure prevention companies, but during the conversation and meeting with them, we found out that the first thing that they wanted up front from us was money before we even filled out the application. There's lots of companies that were offering the services and making a lot of promises to us that they could save our home. I really just didn't feel comfortable with them at all, and I just decided to take another path.
There are a lot of companies claiming that they can stop the foreclosure process or help you modify your loan. You should be extremely cautious of people who make any guarantee, ask for money up front, or tell you to make your mortgage payments to them.
I called one of the loan modification specialists. They said they could help. They needed a $500 deposit and then $3,000 after that. They said they had attorneys working on their side. They would talk to the mortgage company. They took my money and they didn't do anything for us at all.
We were desperate to save our house, and I guess that's why we believed in them.
It was just a scam.
All of a sudden on a Saturday night, our front doorbell rings. I open the door and there's this lady on her front step talking at the top of her voice saying, "You're going into foreclosure, you're going to lose your home." Well, I immediately asked her to leave. I then called my servicer and they didn't know anything about her. Apparently it was a scam.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of scam artists out there. Some even look to be affiliated with the government. Their websites have official-looking logos and graphics, and their names include words like federal. Hope Now connects you with counselors that provide free foreclosure prevention assistance.
When I met with the counselor, that